This is your breaking news stimulus check update and stimulus package update. Now I'm gonna let you guys know things are gonna start ramping up here as we get closer to these midterm elections. And Congress is trying to get things done before they go on that August recess. Senator Joe Manchin suddenly backs in the Biden climate and tax bill. In his press release from him yesterday that officially Manchin supports the Inflation Reduction Act of 2022. So Build Back Better revised, revamped, cut down, or is now the Inflation Reduction Act of 2022, which we're hearing has its support, and they're going to try to push this through in Congress. So that video, if you missed it, check it out right after this one. But we'll also take a look at this, you guys. Yesterday, the Senate passed a bill to boost the US chip production and China competition, sending it to the House. So a bill, $50 billion, we're hearing to help support semiconductor chip manufacturing. It got pushed through and is on its way to the House. But we're hearing members of the Senate saying, hold the phone. And look what just came out from the time of this recording. GDP fell 0.9% in the second quarter, the second straight decline, which is a strong recession signal, as a lot of people are saying that is right there. 2 consecutive quarters of falling GDP is a recession signal. We are in recession. Everything unfolding right now, but that might be the reason why. Take a look. That's what's coming out right now, you guys. CNN poll says 75% of Democratic voters want someone other than Biden in 2024. That's right, Democrats that previously voted for Joe Biden that are saying get him out of there. We want somebody else right now. We are not happy with the way things are going with President Joe Biden. With the passage of the bill in the Senate, with the agreement that's been reached and everything happening with President Joe Biden in the polls and his run in 2024, make sure that you stick around. We've got a lot of covers to you guys. But let's go ahead and dive right in. Now let's take a look at what the White House has to say about this, along with the agreement between Joe Manchin's Schumer and the state of our economy and those polls from President Biden. Let's go ahead and take a look. Big news last night out of Washington after nearly a year and a half of on and off negotiations. Democratic Senator Joe Manchin of West Virginia says he's reached a deal with party leaders to pass a number of Democratic agenda items through the reconciliation process. 50 votes. In his statement yesterday, Manchin wrote his bill will cut the inflation taxes Americans are paying, lower the cost of health insurance and prescription drugs, and ensure our country invests in the energy security and climate change solutions. We need to remain a global superpower through innovation rather than elimination. Meanwhile, the Senate yesterday also passing a sweeping package to boost U.S. computer chip production to stay competitive with China. 70 Republicans joined all Democratic voting members to pass the bill. However, Republican leaders in the Senate now are urging House members to vote against that bill in retaliation for the Manchin-Schumer deal on reconciliation that came after joining us now the White House. So let's begin with that reconciliation deal that surprised a lot of people in Washington. Well, the president is incredibly encouraged by what we saw last night by the contours of this deal. It is truly history. It is a massive step forward in our fight to tackle the climate crisis. It's going to bring down healthcare costs for families all across the country. It's going to tackle inflation. It's going to reduce the deficit. And it's going to make corporations pay their fair share of taxes, all while ensuring that no one making under $400,000 a year see tax increase. So he is incredibly gratified by it. It's an enormous down payment on many of the things that he campaigned on, and he's grateful to Senator Schumer, to Senator Manchin, and to everybody who put in hard work over the course of many months to get to this deal. So it's incredibly important, and we're hopeful that Congress will move quickly to get things done because American families are waiting to see it happen. What I can say is that we're incredibly encouraged by what we saw last night, the general reaction. I think there's a lot of excitement from Democrats in both chambers about the contours of this package, and there should be is enormously impactful for American families. It's exactly the action they've been waiting for. It is going to ensure, for example, that we can meet the president's commitments on climate, which is something he campaigned on, and this package is going to take an enormous step forward. to ensuring that we can meet the goals that are going to reverse some of the worst effects on climate change. So there is a tremendous amount here for that. Certainly the American families to be excited about, and we're hopeful that Congress is going to move quickly to get it passed. Absolutely not, this package is going to reduce the deficit. It's going to add to, we've already reduced the deficit $1.7 trillion last year. This is going to continue to do that. It's also going to bring down costs for American families. But as you know, people are getting crushed by inflation. So to a lot of people, it does feel like a recession, even if technically not to a lot of small business owners who can't find anybody work at their shop. It does feel that way. Part of it probably contributing to some of the numbers we've seen, including a poll yesterday from CNN that showed 75% of Democrats and Democratic-leaning voters don't want the president to run for re-election. It's not the only poll that shows something similar. These polls also showed that the Democrats and the American people choose President Biden and head-to-head against Donald Trump if he were to run for president. So that I think what we've seen is President has put forward an agenda that is building the economy from the bottom up and the middle out. He is ensuring that we reclaim our place on the world stage. He is committing to the things that he promised to do when he ran for president. And the other things I say to mention inflation. Of course, American families are focused on inflation, so as President Biden is why he is taking steps to try to bring gas prices down. It's why he is supporting the Inflation Reduction Act of 2022, which is going to lower healthcare costs and lower energy costs. So he is relentlessly focused on this, just as American families are, and he understands what they're going to through. And he's doing everything in his power to bring prices down. That was the White House Communications Director, and a lot taking place right now. We saw that agreement reached after over a year of negotiations for that reconciliation bill. I'm going to be sure to keep you up to date. Also, we saw that bill, the CHIPS bill, passed through the Senate. We're gonna see how it does the House. And we're also hearing that the White House right now, they're saying things are going well. People got a lot of money in savings and checking, things are moving along. Businesses are doing great, and they're saying they don't believe those polls that they think that Joe Biden is going to win, especially if he runs against former President Donald Trump. Now we will see, let me know your thoughts, but a lot unfolding right before we hit this August recess, and also the want to get this all done before those midterm elections, so that way voters can see they managed to get it all taken care of now. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. I will keep you up to date every step of the way.